Alright, hello, stargazers. Welcome in, welcome in. How is everybody doing today? Hello. Welcome in, Aegis. Welcome in, Eritane. Hello, Stargaze. Hello, Sim0. Welcome in, some guy. Welcome in, Fire and Ice. Hello, Stockler. Hello, Getsu. Hello, Silence. Hello, Inviternal. Hello, Daho. Hello, PM Intertech. Hello, Vessa. And hello, Stockler. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you all doing today? Hello, and hello, Bled Suli and NNT28. Welcome on the Twitch side, guys. What? Daho, what? Daho, what? 11 ads? It shouldn't be 11. It says 2 out of 6. It shouldn't be 11. That doesn't make any sense. It literally says 2 out of 6 right here. What? I'm now on the fly. My boss didn't submit a new contract, so I'm in limbo right now. I would imagine he's just, like, busy and not paying attention, considering it's, like, the end of the year. I'm guessing most companies are, like, you know, headless chicken moment. So, hopefully they get back to you. I imagine it's just, like, this end-of-year, like, spastic rush. Problem is he had 5 to 6 weeks for this. I completely understand that he definitely had more than enough time. I think it's not a matter of that. I think it's losing your head. Seems like I sent my ad cursor over to Twitch. It's, okay, it literally says on the ads right now, it says 4 out of 6, so how is it 11? I don't understand that. I feel like they're gonna leave on the Twitch side now. Stars being reversal experience. Well, you know, I just, yeah. Yeah. What I will say is that in those instances, it's never a malicious thing. It's always just people who aren't paying attention. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying it's never a malicious thing. That's about what I can say about that. Got 100 ads for real. Well, other than that craziness, I hope things turn around. I hope Boss Man puts his head back on. At least Twitch doesn't throw an entire 5-hour bot at you as an ad. What? How did that happen? What did you get? I had an ad once on YouTube that was the entire Lego movie. That was interesting. I think that was like a promotional thing. The entire Lego movie as an ad. How was my trip? It was... It was very frustrating. It was very frustrating. I saw some people being like, oh, have a nice vacation, and it's like, this was not a vacation in the slightest. I think that coming back was more of a vacation than actually going away. Fox Family was interesting. Fox Family's interesting. Fox Spirits are interesting. Creatures are interesting, and, what do you say? The circumstances of life are interesting. The crazy amount of things that can go wrong are interesting. There's just always things that make everything harder. Sounds like you had a great time. Yeah, definitely. The Lego Movie as an ad was like a legendary poll. I forgot I was even trying to watch. No, not to me, thankfully. Just, everything around. Like, everything is metaphorically on fire. But hey, it's okay. We all got through it, so it's all good. So, it's like someone's about to catch it. No, we're all good. Staycations are underrated. That would have been really nice, to be honest. Honestly, like, there's so many things that I want to do. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I am in a real... tight tug of war right now, because I'm really loving everything that I'm doing with Arknights, and I don't want to change that, especially not on the main channel. But on the other hand, I really, really want to be exploring Hallucinari, and I have the very intense desire to explore that further, explore that more. You talked about someone's boss losing his head? Since when are tall hands the bosses? Yeah, staycation would have been really nice. There's so much I want to do. There's so much work I want to get done. And I want to explore Hallucinari more so that we can explore more things together. But I have to bide my time on that one. I'm trying to get in time where I can. I want to keep pursuing that. I want to keep learning things. A lot of work, yes. Doubly with future. Oh, jeez. You know things I don't know, and it makes me nervous. Well, anyway. Today what I thought we would do is, I have been seeing this art style that has been inspiring me greatly, and KLMX brought it to my attention recently again. There is an art style that some artists can do where everything is very, very rough and emotion-based, and, like, none of the details are clear, but you get the idea from it. And I was looking in the Master Study suggestion thread, which, by the way, there's only 3 submissions in there. If you want to throw more things in there, that is in the Starlight chat. There's a thread. It is not the one that says old. It is in the one that does not say old. And if you want to put suggestions in there, you can. So I was grabbing a reference of a piece that I liked just in terms of the color and lighting and composition, and then I grabbed the Typhon piece that I think a lot of people really enjoy, and I want to see if I can take the look of the Typhon piece, like, not the intensity, right? Because it's a very, very different idea. One is very calm and cool and collected, and the other's very intense and dramatic. But I want to see if I can transfer the brushstroke look to the Mizuki piece, and see if I can do, like, sort of a half study. I think it might be interesting. Where did you find this art style? People have just been sharing it in the Discord, like, ever so often. I see some people sharing the art style, and I can't look up the artists who do it with Arknights characters because I have to avoid spoilers, so I can only either look up the individual piece that's been shared, or I can try to see if I know other artists who are doing it who don't do Arknights art. So, like, one artist I've been looking at is, an artist on Twitter named, Kamendani. Kamendani has a very similar style as well. I'll type it in chat here, in case you're interested. Kamendani on Twitter, and let me write on the... put it on the Twitch side, too. Oh, that just went to both again. Okay, sorry. That is an artist I've been looking at recently because they do very, very loose, rough work. And I want to see, like, if we can try to transfer that over. I am not good at working loose and rough. I always try to refine to the nth degree, so this is a good exercise for myself. And I know that I've seen some people are also interested in this, so I thought it would be nice if we could explore it together. We can't really suggest future scenes as master studies anymore. Yeah, I know, but, like, if there's, like, generic promotional stuff, like, I know there's, I know Zengetsu and KLMX linked, like, 50 different older pieces of promotional art that I have in my drive now. Anything that is, like, older things that we might have seen that I might have missed a study on. I don't know. It is a little hard to say now, but I don't know. Or you could just throw in, you know, random design. I'm not really sure. Amandani's style is really cute. It is, right? I think it's really nice. But from what I understand, they don't do directly Arknights, or at least if they do, it's not very obvious to me. So they're sort of a safe bet for that style for me. And I know there's a lot of Arknights artists who also try it. but I can't look at their pages. I can only look at what gets shared in the Discord directly. So the Typhon piece has inspired me a lot. There was also a very similar one of Rosemontis, but I don't remember who has that or where it went. I'd like to find that one again. That was really good. Again, so I can rummage the official site again. Hello, Grendel! Welcome in, welcome in! Guess who is having a silly wrestling match with an essay that I hold a whole year to make, but I'm doing in the very last 5 days? Grendel! Grendel, why? No, Grendel. You had a whole year to do it? Did they all block you? What did you do? 20th time this month? What do you mean? What do you mean to do? No, they didn't block me. I just can't look at the work. It is unsafe for me to look at the work. They didn't block me. The good old hair and turtle race. Grendel, no, you had a whole year for an essay. How long does it have to be? I'm nervous for you now. A year of working 5 days feels familiar. No, newbie. No, guys, it's not good. Also, hello, Vinefox. All right, let me jump into our main scene here. So I did a quick draw over of the Mizuki piece, just so I don't have to worry too much about the composition, because that always takes too much time to figure out manually. But hang on, let me jump in here. There we go. So this is the Mizuki piece from Nami, and then there's also the Typhon piece. But what I want to try to do, I needed to just quickly, like, throw that in, you know? So I want to try to see if I can look at the Mizuki piece and the Typhon piece at the same time, and see if we can get any good styling from this. I think what might help, actually, is if I put them side by side here while we're working, so that we can kind of see, like, what it is that we're trying to do. Make it a little more obvious to you guys, maybe. Especially people who come in later, and they're just like, I have no idea what you're doing. So let me just grab that, crop it here. We can see everything a little bit easier. This is gonna be hard to fit. I guess it more so just gives you the general idea, because I don't think I can fit everything on one page. Alright, there we go. We'll do something like that. Okay. And zoom in as much as we can here. There we go. We'll just make that a little bit faded. I just want the general idea so I can see what I'm doing. Synthwave Neon Mizuki. Have you gone to college if you haven't done that? I don't think I've ever... I'm trying to think of something where you've had a year to do a project. I don't think I've ever had that luxury. I have had situations where I knew that I was going to be assigned a project. I knew what it was. It hadn't been assigned. But that was not fun, because that was more like, I had to redo the whole thing. Let me see here. Where's the brush I wanted to try out? Is it this one? There we go. So the brush that I'm going to try using is just the Photoshop hard round brush. So this is, it's not exactly the hard round brush because it has a different end piece, but this is essentially like your most basic brush in most art programs. This is Clip Studio Paint, but I'm seeing if I can get a little bit of variation there. There we go. Okay, that works. Using something that is not textured is like a really interesting way to sort of force you to work with the brushes you have. And I'm just like, what? The worst thing I've done is finish and print the paper I needed to turn in mere seconds before the professor walked in. Amazing. Is the master study thread just for AK stuff? I guess at the moment, yes. You have 40 pages, Grendel. 30 so far. It's on the breaking of lawyer-client privilege in cases of preponderant interest. Exciting. The essay is in the context of a law bar internship evaluation, not even college, is to pass the law bar. You had a whole year to do this. Grendel, I pray for you. I absolutely pray for you. Okay, I think the best way to start this is by going with our darker color. So let me establish a bit. Then I'm not gonna be able to see what I'm doing. Can I? No, I can see. Okay, I can see it enough. It's fine. We're gonna coat this whole canvas here. This is more like rough study. I'm not gonna go for one-to-one master study, so I don't care like if the canvas is a little bit messy or dirty or what have you. We're playing around today. This is a fun day where you can like bring out the crayons and just like play around and experiment with things. So I'm just gonna get like a little bit of color on the canvas, so I'm not working with something blank here. And I'm guessing that these are probably still done with individual layers. So what we're gonna do here is we'll add a layer on top, and I think the best thing is we'll just use the hair. Yeah, hair color is probably good for now. And take about something like this. And I'm just gonna sort of rough in the general aspect of this. And my goal is also to try to not lose myself in this piece. Not, like, get either too detailed or, just not playing it loose enough, you know? The whole experiment here is just to try to get the feeling that they're going for. So it's not gonna be as detailed as I normally go. It's not gonna be as, like, overly rendered. But I'm just playing around today. I just want to see what'll happen. Because I have no idea, frankly. I have no clue what's gonna happen. Might be terrible. Might say I'm never gonna try this again. I don't know. But I've admired this style, and I want to see how doable it is. My guess is that this is one of those things where it looks simple on the surface, but actually shows, like, full mastery. And you can't just, like... You know how sometimes there's artists that have, like, really simple styles and you get people being like, oh, my kid could do that. And then it's like, oh, no, they couldn't. It's actually, like, the fact that you think your kid could just shows how much you don't understand. Like, it might be one of those things where I'm just completely in over my head and I have no idea what I'm doing. But it will be fun. It will be fun to try things out and just see what happens. So we are just playing around here. And I do have the benefit of, like, already having the finished piece in front of me. So a lot of it I can kind of, like, cheat in a way, right? Because all the hardest parts of the work have been done. But I just want to see what will happen. And that's also one of the reasons I made the, this piece, like, took a piece where the layout was already done, so I didn't have to try to worry about so many different new things at once. Because that's the thing, right? When you're doing studying, you don't have to try reinventing the wheel. You can use a little bit of help, just so you don't go fully crazy trying to make all of it by scratch when you're just doing a study. So I'm just trying to get in the main colors, the main ideas here. Here's an important lesson here that applies a lot to artists. When we are given a year for a task, it takes a year. When we are given a month, it takes a month. When we are given 24 hours, it takes 24 hours. Silly psychological phenomenon. Oh, jeez. Are you going to mix the two art pieces? It'd be interesting exercise to transpose one piece's feeling onto another. Yeah, exactly. So, just to explain one more time, for those who, came in recently. So this piece, done by Ziying Zhang, I apologize if I butchered the pronunciation of the name. They have a very, like, loose brushstroke style where a lot of it is just very much based on the feeling of the character. And then Nami has a really, really clean anime style. So I'm trying to see if I can get the feeling of the loose brush style onto the piece that is, like, the clean anime style. On the topic of master studies, would you possibly be down for doing a master study of one of the potential arts in Enfield? I guess I feel like Enfield is such a treacherous thing. I feel like that's the kind of thing that has to be approved. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, right? I feel like that's the thing that has to sort of be approved with someone who knows more than me. But honestly, yeah, probably would be a good idea to do, like, Enfield art-related stuff, at least to whatever degree I'm able to. Especially just, like, you know, for the channel and whatnot. Probably would be helpful. Alright, we are still just sort of playing around. We're still just trying to find everything. You know, we're still just trying to do a little bit of discovery at the moment. Like I said, this might not work. This might fail as an exercise. I don't know yet. But I'm having fun just seeing what happens, you know? Did I do this on the... Yeah, I sure did. I sure did work on the wrong layer. Alright, let me move that over real quick. Is it this one? It's this one. Okay. Are we good? There we go. I need to make this look less like a dress. Need to cut it a little bit shorter there. There we go. Don't know a lot of Enfield. I think there'll be a lot of references at Arknights. Yeah, probably. That's why I'm nervous about it. So, like, is it a good idea? Yes. Is it a doable idea? I do not know. But I do think that it is a decent idea. Another reason I picked the Mizuki piece is there's so much color that sort of just, like, layers over each other. You know, because there's sort of that feeling of ocean blending, especially just within this design in general. So I felt that would make it a good piece for this. Let's see, don't know how well I'm gonna be able to do the hand. Let me just do some color picking, that's fine. For this I'm okay just color picking. The hand we'll do here. We're really just trying to get the skin and everything. I don't know how well I'll have the face in. It seems a lot with this type of style. The face is the part that is paid the most attention to, and the rest just sort of falls to the wayside. So I will try to pay a little bit more attention to the face when the time comes. For now, I'm still just throwing in general brush strokes. This is definitely tricky, because I can't really, I don't feel like I really know what I'm doing yet. Like, you can kind of tell who it is, but not really, not yet. Let's see. Alright, let's throw the umbrella in real quick. Or at least the shape of it, just so we can kind of see everything a little bit easier. Is this it? Wait, I can't tell what I'm doing. Alright, oh, that's fine. And then there's all the rough parts of the umbrella here. Do I have the lines there, or did I... Nope, I don't have the lines. Okay, that's fine. Don't make that on another layer. There's a piece here. There's pieces that are sticking out here. Can't really tell, like, which way the umbrella is going. Because it's transparent, so it's kind of making it a little bit tricky to follow, I think. Let me zoom in on that real quick, just so I can kind of try to tell what I'm doing. There's this piece on the top. And then it kind of fades here, and then there's a little bit. Okay, I overshot it a little. It's a little close, but that's okay. There we go. That's fine for now. Alright. Zoom out a little. Hang on a sec. Blah, 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 blah. We just post the potential in Enfield chat, then ping HR. Yeah, that works. I accidentally tabbed into your reading of Heavy Rain's operator record and was very confused for a solid 30 seconds. Amazing. I just went through a VV scrounge for official art, and aside from the skin and AS announcement, all our art is event tied, so I guess it's gonna have to wait. Alright, I'm sorry. Hopefully we can get around to it. Tangential umbrella. Oh, jeez. It's to say that Arknights has characters that are really recognizable one from the other. Oh, definitely, yeah. I have a little bit to drop in with all that's happening. Hello, Lilith. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Alright, there's a little bit of... We'll have a white stripe here because there's zippers on the jacket. So we can quickly get the idea with just a white line. Let me sort of chip away at where the hand is. So it's a little more refined. I say refined, but it's like clearly not very refined yet. We're getting there. It's all evolving slowly. Let's see. Forgot how much I like Mizuki's color scheme. It's so nice, right? It's so nice. Hang on. Blah, 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 blah. Hang on. These are university tier fine art lecture exercises. Your streams are hidden treasure. Thank you, Grendel. Truly nowhere near as refined as- wait, what? I think you should be a tenured uni professor in fine arts. I hate that it's such a nepotistic field, at least here. Oh, man. I've had people tell me that I should be an art teacher, like, actually, on field, on campus. And I just, I don't know. I've been told that a lot. And I don't really want to do the training that is required, to go from, like, hobbyist to, like, actual serious teacher. And two, I just don't really want to put myself in the situation that I've, like, had to put my own art teachers through. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't know. I feel like you're gonna get stuck with people who just don't want to be there. They're just, like, doing it for the grade and they have no interest whatsoever. I feel like it would just get very repetitive. I definitely would not be able to focus on an anime style. And it's like, I can do non-anime, but I don't know. I love teaching people online. I really don't know how I would feel about doing it in person. Non-high school art teachers, straight up fine arts? I'm not even good at, like, real fine arts, quote-unquote. Real fine arts generally means that you have to deal with, like, the people doing the oil painting. I've never done oil painting in my life. I mean, if there was something where you could, like, just do, like, if you could just teach digital anime style, that'd be one thing, but also, I don't even think I don't see myself as someone who would be good to teach that either, because, like, my anatomy is not perfect. I don't know all the muscles and bone structure like a lot of other artists do. I don't practice as often as other I just don't see myself as, like, actual teacher material, professor material. I like doing it, and I like helping people, but I can't picture myself actually, like, being in the thick of it, I suppose. it sounds so nice on paper, and then when reality sinks in, it seems very scary and overwhelming and not quite fun. You're too nice to tear into the kids, I think. I mean, oh man, I feel like all the art teachers were too nice to tear into the kids, honestly. There were so many times where I would say something and the teacher would agree, and then people would just get really mad at me. 90% of the time that would be pointing out tangents, by the way. I take your class. I appreciate that, Silence. Thank you. Hang on a sec. I'm trying to catch up. When I do art streaming, I don't check chat enough. I apologize. You don't need a teaching degree to be a teacher? Well, you don't unofficially, but if you go, if you want to do things like on campuses in person, I think you need something. How to draw manga books don't have great anatomy? You're not wrong, but also I hope I'm a little bit better than Chris Hart. Gosh. I would at least hope I'm doing better than Chris Hart. Oh man, I can rant about those books for hours. I have ranted about those books for hours. I have previous VODs where we've done that. I'm not gonna do that again. But yeah, no, I would hope that I can do beyond Chris Hart. Alright, I have to still make sure that I'm not, like, going too intense on, like, I have to try to catch myself that I'm not starting to go into detail without meaning to. You know what I mean? Like, I have to catch that I'm not starting to get complacent as I'm chit-chatting, and then I just sort of, like, mindlessly render, and then it starts getting into, detail territory because I'm not paying attention. I have to be careful I don't do that. Because that happens so often. Just, like, I'm talking to you guys, and then as I'm working, like, one section just gets more and more detailed when it doesn't need to. I do that so much. So I'm trying to make sure that I avoid doing that here as well. Also, I don't know about how, like, I don't know how it would go having a teacher with, like, mild aphantasia who, like, constantly has to look at references and just can't do things. Like, how would I even do a lecture if I always have to use references? I feel like that doesn't work. Alright, this needs a little bit of, like, it's like a... Are these... It is green, isn't it? It's very muted green, but it is green, I believe. I don't know, there's so many times that I've wanted to, like, use different media to teach things. Like, I've had thoughts where I was like, what if I taught art using Arknights? Would enough people care about that? And I have no idea. And then I've also thought, what if I taught art using Pokemon? What if I taught art using VTuber design? I've had so many thoughts like this, guys. It's not even funny. But actual teaching? I don't know. People are scary. I think we can all agree on that one. People are scary. He doesn't know that you can't teach at 4 times speed, right? Oh no. All the stories about art school I hear are either they were too nice or they hated every single one of their students. I honestly, okay, oh, I feel like the way it was for me in art school, I never had a teacher who was like criticizing enough of my technical ability. I think so much more of the critique was on concept. Like, I've had projects that I had to straight up redo entirely because the concept wasn't good, or I didn't have enough, I had to redo my entire, like, okay, you know how every major has, like, a thesis of sorts? I had, like, a thesis of sorts as well. And this was at the time where I wasn't drawing people. Like, I didn't used to draw people at all, guys. I used to be 100% doing anthro furry stuff. And I wanted my final thesis type thing to basically be a story that features a human character with a bunch of animals, but essentially a human character and a human character friend. And I had the pitch and stuff, and my teacher basically told me that I wasn't good enough at drawing humans to do the project. So, like, this was, like, your final, right? Your final for the final year. And, I had to quickly come up with something that I knew how to do really, really well, and then I just went back to cute animal drawing. But then, like, I didn't have, like, enough critique on the actual, like, drawings themselves, aside from just, like, you're not very good at people. So I think that's why when I moved to, like, VTubing and stuff, and I found a direction that I liked a lot more that involved people, it made me a lot happier in what I was doing. And of course, I also had the very, very stereotypical, hating anime teacher, so that didn't help. Hmm? One of us sneaks into the back of the class and holds up a giant poster of your art reference. like a teleprompter, but for references. Why'd you shift from wanting to draw anthro to more people? I was getting more and more into anime and more into VTubing stuff. And for the longest time, like, you know this, I had the fully anthro, version. And I just had to, I guess VTubing wasn't really a thing then. What was, like, making me shift at that time? I don't remember exactly what it was that was causing me to want to shift gear, at that time, because, like, VTubing wasn't around. So I don't really know what the spark of that was. Oh, I wanted to do work for Disney. I wanted to do work for Disney. I wanted to do, like, I was looking at Disney, I was looking at, like, Riot Games at the time, I was looking at anything that was, like, leaning anime-ish, but, like, kind of still acceptable. And, I was basically, again, like, my portfolio didn't have people in it. Like, you can't apply for Disney or Riot and not know how to draw people. It's really stupid the more you think about it. So I was just, yeah. I mean, even now, if I was to, let's say that for some reason Hypergriff had, like, an opening for artists, for whatever reason, and you didn't have to learn Chinese or whatever, I still think I don't have a portfolio that has enough good drawings of people. So yeah, this is why we do the master studies and stuff, because, like, I don't have enough drawings of people. I can draw animals with my eyes closed, but I struggle with people. I still do. To this day, I still do. Good thing you didn't join Disney, yeah. It's so sad, like, how quickly everything kind of fell apart there. Yeah, I'm very grateful I didn't do that. I'm very grateful that I didn't, travel so far. That would have been a lot. Alright, I don't think I'm getting stuck in the detail. I think we're still maintaining a fairly loose atmosphere here, but I wonder how long it takes the people who do the rough work to actually do each piece. Because I do think that I am probably still a little too slow on it. I don't really know what the average time frame is for these. But again, you know, we're not going for full accuracy. We're still mainly just going for the vibe. Alright, is this kind of at the point where I can remove this? Yeah. Yeah, when you can barely tell your sketch from your painting, you can just remove the sketch. I'm just gonna save this real quick. Must focus on the silly essay, I'll be lurking. Alright, Grendel, it is always good to see you. So, thank you for lurking, I appreciate it, and best of luck on the essay. If you need to not lurk so that you can work fully on the essay, please don't let me stop you. Let me just quickly, save this. Hang on a sec. If you did join Disney, you wouldn't be here. Very true, yeah. I think the one silence drift was great. Interesting for you to be saying silence. Arknights is your forte then? They're animals? I think Arknights has been like a complete accident, but a very, very fitting accident in a strange way. I mean, honestly, the first fan art I saw where everybody was Kimono Mimi probably did help, but I don't even think... Who did I ended up painting Velarkvin first, so I think that was really more the painterly style than anything. Look on the bright side, at least you're getting annual practice of drawing human because of my crazy amount of commission ideas. I mean, I doesn't really need to be annual. I've been doing some other stuff too. I just, it's interesting, right? There's getting practice when you're just practicing, like just getting in study. And then there's practice when it is for a commission and you have to get the work done, but you can't really internalize as much of what you're doing from a study perspective, right? It's like you're not practicing on a commission, you're doing the serious work on a commission. But if you haven't been practicing, it will make the work slower. I know that there's quite a few people on the waitlist. I have not forgotten about anybody on the waitlist. I've just been trying to chuck away at it. So if you are on the waitlist, I greatly have been appreciating your patience. I'm trying to move forward as fast as I can with it. Honestly. I mean, like, I'm trying to move forward as fast as I can without rushing each piece. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I love the little city highlights that you can see on the pants and stuff here. It just adds like a little bit extra. That's the other thing I really love about the style. There's always like little touches of random color here and there. Orange Kiwi Juice, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. Star on her walk in the dust to draw people. You know, the sad thing is, like, I probably could have done well as, like, children's book author, children's book illustrator, but, like, that sort of isn't really a thing now either. Because that's where you'd probably expect to find the most, like, random animal stuff, right? Is, like, children's book. But it's all so different now. Alright, I need some bright cyans here. I want to just throw in some nice, bright cyan. In various areas. I still feel like I'm not being rough enough with the piece. I feel like I'm playing it too safe, and I can still kind of see it. Or, I can still feel it, I guess. I can tell that I'm still going too safe with the whole thing. I don't really know how to fix that. Is it because I'm hesitant on the values? Is that it? Am I not using darker darks like we should have learned from Arknights' memoir? Am I not embracing? Maybe I'm not. Yeah, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm still, like, really avoiding that. Alright, this is much darker. Darker darks, lighter lights. More intense color here. More intense color here. And then there is sort of like a divot here. Showing a little bit. It's a little bit see-through as well, so you can see a little bit of the colors of the pants poking through. Curse of Cocomelon. Children's books don't have cute animals any longer. It's, they've really changed it. Nowadays it's more, like, most children's books that are coming out nowadays are more like people's lived experience. So, instead of cute animals, the majority are gonna be, like, real people. Which brings us back to our first problem. Gotta go because film battery is dying, but I love how the jacket is looking. You're doing a good job copying. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm trying to not do, like, a one-to-one. I still want it to be, like, rough feeling, and I don't know how to capture it. But thank you, I appreciate it. Most kids' books now are Ugly CalArts Beanmouth self-insert. It's not even Beanmouth, like, there's still a lot of different, unique art styles happening with children's books. It's just that most of them are, like, human kid lived experience. Which means that you are not getting, like, cute animals. Sometimes they'll do it with cute animal, but it's still, like, human kid lived experience, but just from the point of view of the animal. But, like, there's not like a Beatrix Potter vibe anymore, you know? There's not, like, if you give a mouse a cookie. There's not, it's just not the... It's not the same vibe anymore, I guess. Real people, back in my days, we had an elephant for getting stuff. Exactly. I really like when things are done with animals, in allegory. I mean, like, Aesop's Fables, that kind of stuff. But nowadays, I think what it is like everyone wants to be able to, like, actually visually see themselves in the books. So, they're doing away more with animals, in favor of, like, actual visual representation. Like, you can fully see yourself as the character in the storyline. So, animals are really good at being a universal symbol, and, we're kind of moving away from that. And don't even get me started on AI, where people, like, specifically want not just a representation of themselves, but, like, actually just themselves in a storybook. Like, that's what a lot of people are banking on, is this level of intense personalization. Recently, a book got published. It was talking about the Valencia floods, but they made it for children. That's not the controversy, though. They made it entirely out of AI. AI-generated images and story. Oh, great! If it's story, it's probably not even accurate. Yeah. But even before AI, you could kind of tell that the animal side of things was fading. I think Zootopia is actually starting to stand out more than ever now. To be fair, it's right to have a way to impersonate, but even imagination is important. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I have nothing against the representation that people are seeing in books. If that makes them happy, that works for me. It's just that the illustrators who work on those books are usually able to also relate to those situations, and I usually cannot in a lot of cases. So they also tend to pick illustrators who can also sort of relate. And again, a lot of them are more so like not with animals. I can sometimes get myself to do like human children's book style if I have to, if I'm able to make it in like an anime look. But I don't know. I can copy styles pretty well if I have to. But I'm a lot happier learning an anime style than just trying to suffer through otherwise. So yeah, I have had a lot more experience now. And Arknights has been a huge part of that, actually, in terms of, like, branching out and trying new looks and new things. And new directions, right? Didn't used to do anything that was, anywhere near as dark feeling, even just in study. Alright, how are we gonna do this? This is, like, supposed to be kind of crystal-y? Glass? Plastic? And there's a piece up here. Who drew the reference you're using? I think Nami did the Mizuki one, and Ziying Zhang did the Typhon one. Might post some of the controversy in the server. No, that's okay. I don't think you need to be honest. Alright, let's try to see if I can force this. I'm still using some variation in opacity on here, so I have to try to see what works. Alright, why does the... Am I looking too much at the Mizuki one and not enough at the Typhon one? Why does it feel so different? Am I still cleaning? Is that it? Am I making the edges too clean? Like, it just doesn't have that same feeling, and I don't know why. Let me at least work on the face a little bit, because the face should be a little bit more cared for, I think. Let me see if that... Do I even have the right layout for that? Or... okay. I missed a little bit of the difference here. I think the hair got way too low. And that is the reason that I sort of rough this out in advance, so I don't have to worry about it later. Did I? Why do I do this? And now it's all in the wrong look. Ah! Of course. Fine. We'll just get rid of it. Done. Don't have to worry. Did I do it here too? I did. Fine. I'll post the controversy in the server is probably a bad idea in 99% of circumstances. Yeah, exactly. Let's not say we did. Alright, let's get the fingers on here again. Huh? In Italy, a notorious company did the cards of the Italian brain rot. I don't know what that is. What? Parents should bring back Fables. Yeah, I agree. I miss Fables. I miss Fables, I miss Aesop's Fables, I miss, like, general... I miss the art of full storytelling. You know? I miss the art of fables and myths and legends. It's a bunch of completely AI-generated memes. That sounds stupid. No, I've never heard of that. Why Italian? Was it made in Italy? What? You know, I don't want to know. I don't think I want to know. I think I'm fine not knowing. I think my life is probably better for not knowing. I believe that my life is probably improved without the knowledge. Alright, how's the hair done? Alright, it's usually very rough. I'm grabbing a piece from Commandani to try to... Let me grab this one here real quick. Ah! That is huge! Alright. Why is it so big? Alright. I just wanted to figure out how they were doing the hair. And again, it's that very, very rough style that we're trying to go for. Alright, it's just kind of loosely painted in, isn't it? Okay. See, Mizuki's style is so nice and clean that it's such a different feeling entirely. So let's see how well we could try to replicate this, maybe. And it's kind of, it's a little harder because it's light hair versus dark hair, so I don't really know how you would handle it otherwise. I'm just sort of throwing this piece in here. And this is, for anyone who's wondering, this is all on one layer. The whole thing is just on one layer. I'm just sort of overpainting as we go. Which could be an interesting way of doing it, or a very dumb way of doing it. I don't know yet. One example is a picture of a shark with 3 legs wearing sneakers when the AI voice speaks gibberish. It sounds Italian. That is really dumb. AI's attempt at surrealism. That doesn't seem like it can go well. Alright, make sure I don't ruin this face shape by accident. Should also probably watch, like, where my angles are going to. Alright, there's gotta be hair in front here to sort of change that. And this needs to be much darker. Much, much, much darker. Just to get, like, okay. We've got the collar here. Can't quite see it. Problem with... Alright, what if I do it this way? There we go. I'll just split between the ones that have opacity versus don't have opacity. And try to use those back and forth. Probably makes the most sense. Alright. And we can see a little bit here with the hair. I'm still gonna need to not avoid the face. I'm just trying to not mess it up. I'm just trying to not mess up what I have right now, to be honest. It's like, oh, this is not going badly. Don't ruin it. Like I said, I have to make sure I don't mess up the face shape. Nami seems to paint very rounded faces, and I'm not as good at doing that. We'll see how that goes. Just got my YouTube recap thing, and you show up twice in my most watched channels this year. Main and side channel. What the heck, newbie? I appreciate it very much. Thank you. I'm very grateful that even muted, you still have me on. It means a lot. Thank you. I'm posting images. Oh my gosh. I'm dying to know how long a piece like this takes. Where it's like, it looks rough, but I don't know if it is or not. Maybe it's all a lie. I don't know. Maybe it just looks easy, because this is actually really difficult. I really wish I knew. I wish I could ask, like, hey, how long do you spend on these pieces? How long should I before it becomes very illogical? How long are you supposed to be spending on these? Like, would you be able to get a lot more than I'm doing now, or? I'm dying to know. Just DM her, you know her account. I don't know if her DMs are open. Or if she would even respond. got a little bit of the... I feel like that would be better done on another layer. I feel like I'm playing a risky game here. Nami seems like a nice person to have a chat with. Oh, I wasn't. No, I'm not gonna reach out to Nami. No. No, I thought you meant. I thought you meant Commandani. Not Nami. I would not be able to reach out to Nami. God. Why not? Now I know that that's someone who would absolutely not answer. 100% not answer. No time for that. Oh my gosh. Commandani might answer, but not Nami. It would be very funny to have Nami lurk here. That'd be horrifying. Art collab with Nami, I'll set it up for you. I feel like I would have to go into, like, hibernation of art training before I'd be okay with that. Be like, sorry guys, we can't move forward with Act 2. I have to spend a whole year training before I can have Nami witness my work. That would actually be horrifying. I'm sure she's an extremely nice person, but like, that would be so scary. It'd be so much funnier if we spring the collab on you without warning. How would that even work? Alright, I have to go back to that pure color again. Is this too faded? Is this, like, causing it to- No, it's probably fine. I just don't know what I'm doing, is all. Something kind of to this effect. Kind of hard to tell. Time to make a clip out of this portion and tag her on Twitter. Jeez, you're evil. That's evil. Don't bother her. I don't want to have to apologize to her is like my first thing that I have to say. Like, I'm so sorry. So sorry for the rambunctious rabbits. Apologizing is the first thing you say to everyone you first meet? That's not true! That's not true! As long as you promise to gamba for her children, I bet she will forgive you. I mean, we already did that with Mizuki, kind of. No, wait, I rolled on both, yeah. No, I shop purchased Mizuki, and I tried to roll for Golden Glow. So, I mean, I have attempted. I don't think about it. The first time Starlight met me, I think she did apologize for something. No, I didn't. No, I did not. Don't make up lies. I absolutely did not. Only your sweet boy is here. She'll be judging you hard. Look, I'm trying. I threw in some gamba for Golden Glow. We just did not get lucky for that. That's okay. It'll happen at some point. I'm not in any rush. Don't make me feel rushed. You did apologize when I met you at Offkai. Did I? Did I actually? Was that for... That must have been for technical issues. That must have been for technical issues. That was probably for technical issues, right? Right? Thank you again for that, Burning Pyre. That meant a lot, by the way. Like, I don't know if I explained that enough before, but, like, that really meant a lot. So, thank you again. I was meeting Grady so late in the day, thank you for saying that. That's probably what happened. Oh. It could be worse when I met Bessie, who just called me Lurker. It was really fun. I was happy to meet you. Thank you. I'm really glad. I feel like I'm a little sad knowing that that's, like, probably not something I'm gonna be able to do again anytime soon now, but you never know. You never know. But that's why it really meant a lot. And I think the funniest thing, I think the funniest thing about that is, like, I didn't have a single, like, Irium person come to say hi to me. I mean, like, you were on Irium, but, like, how did that even work? Were you in the... I forget, did you meet me first through Arknights or through Irium? I forget now. But, like, I didn't have, Irium regulars saying hi. I just had, I had you and two of my fellow co-workers, I guess is the best way to say it. It was through Arknights first. Okay. Haven't ever watched Irium? Okay, then that was just a... Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I'm trying to remember now how it went. Yeah, I think I didn't meet... It was an Irium-based event. And I didn't meet a single person, like, who was watching me on Irium, except for the people who were part of Irium themselves. Like, people in my situation. So I guess coworker at the time would have made the most sense to say. And then Burning Pyre came to visit, but yeah, you were not part of Irium. You knew me through Arknights, so I think that was one of the moments that I had, like, told my my content creator person, like, I kind of had one foot out the door at that point, and I knew that that was just sort of like the last thing I'd wanted to do, was to do that meet and greet. And I was telling my content creator coach, I said, you will not believe this. I went through all this trouble. I had to buy a lot of, like, tech stuff for it. I had to buy a lot of technical, stuff that wasn't compatible with the stuff we were regularly using. Like, I had to buy stuff just for the meet and greet, and I'm like, is it really gonna be worth it? But I did it anyway. And my content creator coach guy was like, yeah, no, it's not worth it. You should skip out on this. And I'm like, no, I really want to. This is like the one last thing that I get to do, right? Like, this is that big hurrah moment. I normally would not get a chance to do this. I'm gonna do it anyway. So I went through a lot just to, like, be able to pull it off. And I remember telling him at the end, like, you will not believe that. Because he and Vesto were really saying, like, hey, you know, the, Arknights could be really good for you. And I was like, yeah, I know, but, you know, I'm stuck on the Irium thing right now. And I remember afterwards saying, to my coach, I said, you will not believe this. I didn't meet a single person who was watching me on Irium, but I met someone who found me through Arknights. And that was just kind of one of the signs of, like, there you go! Then you know where you're supposed to be! I think you mostly got screwed over by your I did, yeah. I got, and that's why I was so surprised, right? And that's why this is probably why I apologized to Burning Pyre and why I was, like, so, this is probably why I apologized and why I felt so guilty. Because I was given the last day at, like, the last hour, and I was like, the fact that you stayed to say hi really, really, really means a lot. Because, yeah, I was not given a good time slot. It was pretty clear to me that it was given out based on, like, how well you did on the app. And they tried to move it around. They tried to make it like, you know, some random people got the first day and whatever, but it was pretty clear that, like, how well you were known on the app, you got the better time slots. Fresh start as an amnesiac fox. So it was just kind of crazy funny that, like, that overall, like, I have to try to still be careful with my words. But I think I debated for, like, what, at least a month or two if I was going to do that final meet and greet. Because I was, like, genuinely, I was 1 foot out the door at that point. And I was hemming and hawing so badly because I knew that it would require me to, like, buy new equipment and stuff. And I wasn't sure, if it would be worth it, but it's like, oh, it's the one time I get to do this, and I was debating it so much back and forth. But that's why it meant a lot that Burning Pyre came to say hi. Kind of all made it worth it, you know? And the thing is, like, I'm not talking about, like, Charming Falcon or Newbie or anything, but there were so many people who were like, oh, you know, we'll follow you outside of Irium, you know, we're excited to see what else you do, and it's like, you guys were Irium only. A lot of these people were Irium only. They have not come back. Which is fine. I mean, if you're not into Arknights, there's probably not really a reason at this point. But I mean, aside from people I knew before, like, again, Grendel, Newbie, it's weird. Irium only back then, now look at them bunnies. The funny thing is, that is an amusing part that is an Irium carryover, is the fact that, all you AK people thought that you had brought the crazy chaos, and it's like, no, that existed. That existed through Irium, because Irium had, like, tools to make things appear on screen when people, sent, little donations and whatever. And one of them was a bomb, and that's how this whole thing started. I'm doing the thing again! I'm doing the thing where I'm talking and not paying attention and ending up doing more detail because I'm not paying attention while talking. You tore yourself up over it. Unlike content creator coach though, Kaku and I were saying you should do it. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys did, because I need that push a little bit, I think. It was between a bunch of big events for me, so it worked out. I'm glad! Large chunk of the fan base is from Europe and Asia. We can't really go to Off-Guy to say hi. And I completely understand. But that's the thing, though. That was, like, because, like, Irium was, like, US only, and Off-Guy was in the US, but, it was just, like, time slot-wise, like, the only people, aside from Burning Pyre, who saw me were the other people from Irium. So it was like, okay. I was still really happy to see them, though. They were really nice. I liked seeing them in person. They were very kind. And the fact that they went out of their way to say hi, was very sweet of them. I think the only Irium follower who stayed post Arknights was Eve. Yeah, but remember, Vessa? Eve didn't discover me through Irium. Eve discovered me through the YouTube multi-stream of Irium. And then jumped onto Irium to chat. So, like, yeah. I think Charming Falcon is the only person who stayed and met me from Irium directly. I think Charming Falcon. I think Charming Falcon was the one person who stayed through. Who didn't previously know me from anything else and didn't jump on from a different platform. There was one person who watched me, who was then like, oh, you know, I'm so sorry you're not streaming anymore. I'm like, oh, I am streaming. I've switched to Arknights. They're like, oh, I love Arknights. I'll definitely stop by. And I haven't seen them in a while. Maybe they're lurking, I don't know. If you're lurking, hello. If you're not, that's okay too. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just Charming Falcon. Charming Falcon is such a charming fellow. Indeed, indeed. Falcon was from Irium originally? I believe so. I think Falcon just found me through, like, those Discover New VTuber tab. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I mean, you know, I might have to re-jog my memory. But I'm pretty sure it was just from the Discovery thing. I could be wrong. I don't know. What's an Irium? Irium is a mobile app that they still haven't expanded. That actually really bothers me. I'm not even there anymore. I'm still mad about that. They haven't expanded it to enough people, but it is an app that people can use to talk to VTubers. Kind of like how we're doing now, except it's all on your phone. And, like, it's a good idea in theory. It just, it doesn't work as well for the Western audience, sadly. That still hasn't expanded sounded so personal. It's not that it's personal, it's just that it's sad. I mean, maybe they have and I just don't know about it because I'm, like, not really paying attention to what they're doing anymore, but maybe they have and I'm just not aware of it. But essentially, like, they were supposed to open to Canada. They still haven't opened to Canada. And it's like, they said they were going to open to Canada, I think, September? It's a little past September now. Because the thing is, like, my content coach is in Canada, and he's never been able to see what I was doing at the time. And I was like, oh no, at some point you will. And the thing is, like, he doesn't just help me. Well, he was helping other people too. So like he always liked to point out new stuff, new technology, new apps, and he couldn't even look at it. You're from Canada too? Well, that makes sense why I never saw you on Hero. Yeah, that's frustrating. Like, come on, guys, get it together. You've had, like... No excuse for that, honestly. Like, come on. Good idea. No, I mean, they're really nice still. Zap's phone battery to 0 faster than Tahoe playing Genshin on her phone riding home on the train. Just chatting is my favorite type of stream. It's a type of podcast for me, and I love listening to podcasts. There you go. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it was. It was literally only just chatting. You can't do anything else except just chatting. Which, in some ways, I think I've mentioned this before, it really did help me be able to talk to you guys how I talk to you now. I didn't used to be able to stream like this. I mean, Vesa knows how I used to stream, it was not like this. I'm avoiding the eyes, aren't I? Didn't even realize I was doing that. Let me stop avoiding and being scared of painting the eyes in. Because it looks strange without eyes. So let me, like, stop fearing that. Didn't even realize how long we were going on with like fully avoiding that. Wasn't even paying attention to how long that went on. Sorry, Mizuki. Wasn't trying to. Hmm? Starlight Cataclysm, hello there. Welcome in. Sengetsu, thank you for joining the membership. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. VPN was the problem solver. Oh my gosh. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's really kind of you. Someone who likes Arknights and has a star-themed handle? I think I'll like it here. Starlight Cataclysm and hello there. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm a 2025 Arknights player, so I don't know too many things. I don't know anything past Act 1, and I'm still trying to avoid everything like spoiler-based, so like letting you know, giving you the heads up for that. But hello. It is nice to see you. What? If someone with this phobia would see a biblically accurate angel, would- wait, what do you mean? What phobia? Alright, I have to make sure that I get the size of the eyes right here, because this is going to be a little bit tricky since the hair is not going to be exact. I'm going to have to try to make sure that it's, like, not... It's definitely going to feel different. It's definitely going to feel different from the original. It's not going to be a one-to-one here. But, you know, that's okay, as long as it doesn't look bad. Like, that's the main thing, right? As long as it doesn't look bad. So as long as we just avoid it looking... Why do I keep switching pencils here? Alright, why don't I just go for the full hard brush? No, I've not played Undertides. I don't know how I found you pre-Arknights. I guess it's faded. I don't think you... Wait. Oh, wait. Did you? Love seeing people experience it for the first time. That is exactly what I've been doing. I just to give you like a breakdown of where I'm at. I finished Act 1 maybe like, I don't even know how long ago, maybe a month at this point. I've been doing side stories, and vignettes and stuff. I have people who are like helping me with a whole, timeline of events to go through, and I just this week started reading Vigilo, and I'm halfway through Vigilo, and I'm scared. I did, but I just never chat or interact. I have no idea why you would have known me beforehand. I have no clue where that would have come from. I can't... All I can think of is a maybe VTuber generic thing? I don't even know. I was doing Hololive fan art, maybe from that? I was doing some Hololive fan art before. So, possibly the Hololive stuff? Future stargazers will tell tales of the great 32-minute internal debate to their children. Oh. Babel after Vigilo? I don't think I'm touching that for a long time. If I'm understanding, like, what is supposed to be the order for things, I don't think I'm touching that for a very long time. Alright, this is supposed to be, like, lighter pink? I'm guessing? He has a meme contest, and if we win, she gets Scotty. I do have a meme contest going on, yeah. For anyone who's, actually, wait, have I even advertised that in YouTube? I did at least advertise it in the community post, didn't I? I sure hope I did. If I didn't, I'm gonna be mad at myself. But essentially, I do have a little funny contest. I got one of the kernel selectors. And I did this when I first started playing. Is if you make a silly meme of an operator that you want me to choose for the kernel selector. I did? Okay, thank goodness. Then if your meme is good enough, and it can be really low end, it just can't have like story spoiler, but if it's just silly, if it's just like, I really like this character and here's why, then you can try to convince me to pick them for the kernel selector, essentially. Alright, does Mizuki have... Oh, these are supposed to be pink. Okay. I have everything really zoomed out, so it's very hard for me to tell. Alright, let's see if I can overlay it. See if that'll work. No, that doesn't work. I have to paint over that. Okay, that's fine. Submitted a meme this time? Okay. It's a really fun concept, yeah. Feel free to join in if you'd like. It basically just can't be anything that's like past Act 1 stuff. And, like, keep it lighthearted, I guess is the main thing. So, I know that there's like, oh, Oh, and the other thing is, last time people were kind of able to sway me using, like, this character is really good gameplay-wise, but that was when I was really early. So, now that I have a more filled-out roster, that's not gonna sway me as easily. I mean, the direction of it was still based on, last time, Aroma and Usako had done, like, a really crazy video editing project. So that was sort of like, okay, they put a lot of effort into that, and I didn't expect anyone to do anything video-related. The main rule is just, like, no spoilers, keep it safe for work, and make it yourself. Don't grab it from AK Reddit. And I have to specify that because we've had a few people who have tried doing that. But it's mainly just for fun. It's mainly just for fun. It's just to make a community activity. It's just to do silly stuff that other people can be involved in. That is mainly the reason for doing it. I'm still to submit a meme. Week's been tiring. Haven't had time to cook. No worries. I think the deadline is the 11th, so you still got some time. Do you regret picking Mountain? I don't regret picking Mountain. I think that at the time, Mountain probably made sense for me. But, I still figured that this would just be fun regardless. This is gonna be like... Does Nami indicate a nose at all? Very, very, very slightly, apparently. Very slightly. Very, very subtle. Alright, that's fine. Nami can also do eyes so much softer. Oh my gosh. How do I even... I'm trying to think of how to even do this. The annoying thing is, like, the face is what everyone pays the most attention to. But it's probably, like, the least important in terms of doing this exercise, but I still can't mess it up. It's not terrible. It's not super accurate, but it's not terrible. I think the eyes are a little too strong. Maybe make this a little bit lighter. Not really sure. Soften this up a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just, oh, maybe it's just because of the ratio of how close everything is. Let me just try painting a little bit outside that line then. Like, giving it a little bit more room, maybe. I'm kind of talking to myself as I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. See. It's a little bit better, maybe? Kind of hard to tell. This probably needs to be shaded in an actual lighter color. I'm trying to not mix the colors on this one. For the hair. Okay, there we go. Alright. Let me just move on to going back to the rougher color. The eyes are sort of taking forever. Let me also try to refine the mouth a little bit more. And also, I didn't add any of the hair sticking through the back, so I need to change that. So that it doesn't look so empty. There we go. And then we'll add a little bit of color here. Got the whole thing. And I keep using the wrong brush. There we go. And then fix that up one more time. What? Wait, what do you guys say? Why? Hang on, what the heck? Why is everything on fire now? Why is everything on fire? Why is Daho? Why are you rioting? Daho, please! Why are you rioting? We're trying to just draw the pretty boy. Why are we rioting? Daho, are you okay? What happened? The world hates you? No! No, the world does not hate you. Her Discord recap is scuffed? What do you mean? No! You're being trolled by all of social media? What do you mean by that? What does that even entail? How do you get trolled by all of social media? I feel like that's kind of a feat. How does that even happen? Oh my gosh, I'm trying my hardest to get the face shape right here. It's not easy. And if I'm not careful, I can ruin the whole thing by making a bad face shape. There we go. Alright. Trying to save the whole thing. I also feel like this needs... Oh yeah, this needs highlights on the bottom. Otherwise, it just looks like a Pokemon eye. I just realized that this is like the Pokemon style, if I'm not careful. Alright, there we go. That is a lot better. That's a lot better. We were getting too close to Pokemon territory. Hair tangent? Why do you hate me, Daho? I can't fix it. I can't fix all the tangent. Where do you see a hair tangent? Is it just because it's a piece that I haven't fixed yet? Like, what are you seeing? Where are you seeing this? You have to point it out. Otherwise, you're yelling fire in a crowded theater. Is this on the wrong... why does this keep happening to me? Whatever. It's fine. It works. It's merged now. There's no getting away from it. It's merged. There's nothing we can do about it now. Where's the tangent, though? You really did just yell fire in a crowded theater. Why would you do this to me? What did I do to you? I'm not the social media torturing you, so why torture me? What did I do to deserve your wrath? Huh? I don't think that's very fair. Frankly, I don't really think that's very called for. Never listened to Daho. This is the reason why Daho is trolled by all of social media. Yeah, Daho tried to troll first. Social media is just fighting back. That's the deal. That's my headcanon. Social media is just fighting back. Social media is saying, nah, we're tired of this. We're tired of being trolled by Daho. We're just gonna troll right back. Social media doesn't know how to take a joke. If you say theater, there's always a problem. You know what's funny? I was looking up, D&D campaign stuff last night. Like, Dungeon Master stuff and world building and connections and all that. And they were trying to give an example of, like, how to narrate a better story or whatever. And the example was quite literally a theater murder mystery type thing. And I'm like, really? Is this like a common trope? Or is this just a really weird coincidence? Because it was like a theater-based freaky attempt with clothing that shouldn't be there. It was like the same thing. I was very confused. Tragodia knew it all, he just wrote the script for you. It was like, they only gave like a little snippet because it was just an example, but it was very uncannily close. They had one of the player characters, like, suddenly they were, their own clothes appeared in the wardrobe room, and then it said something, there was like a note on the clothing, and it said like, for your final performance. And then it was a matter if the players were going to, like, nope out of there, or if one of the players whose clothes it was gonna be like, alright, I'm going onto the stage now. It was just so strange. And I'm like, what are the chances of this happening? What are the chances of finding this? Like, this cannot be a common occurrence. Star as a DM when? I would love to, but I'm so intimidated by the overall everything that goes into it. I feel like I would not be good at it. Like, I feel like I would... I don't know. I'm very torn on that. Imagine OG Tragodia walking around as a bard. Oh my gosh. What? You need to build Tragodia? I actually have tried using Tragodia, and I think that Tragodia, new Tragodia is really nice. I just am keeping him sort of in the same situation I'm keeping you. Like, he's really nice, but, you know, I don't want to power creep too much. Your voice acting is good to be a DM? I think it would be really fun. I just... The whole, thing with, D&D just seems very overwhelming on a technical point of view, or, like, messing things up, or not really knowing how- I'm doing the thing again where I'm getting too into the detail because I'm talking. Hang on a sec. I can tell when I start getting into discussions with you guys, and then, like, the rendering starts slowing down dramatically. I feel like I'm still not getting this feeling that I'm trying to go for. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know. It at least, you know what I am thinking that I am learning from this though? I think that the work itself is not actually that quick. I think it's just that the final result has the feeling of being quick. I think that it's not actually a fast process when the people are working in this style. I think well, I mean, fast in comparison to like a 50-hour painting, right? Because this is, what, 2 hours of work? So that's actually not bad. We still have the general idea of who the character is. And of course, this is our first time trying to do it this way. But I think that maybe it is not necessarily, like, fast painting. It's just, it's faster than the 50 hours that you would take if you were doing, like, this rendering style. So overall, I think it is a good style to learn. I think it comes in handy in a lot of different places, to be honest. I think it makes a lot of sense in a lot of different ways. But it also is a matter of curbing your expectations. I think I like some elements of this. I think there's some pieces here that do work really well, just to get the idea down, to get the emotion down. And then there's some pieces like in the face where you would want to put a lot more detail. But overall, I do think it's a good experiment. I think it is a good style. I don't know if people... The thing is, like, the problem with this type of art style is you can't tell if it's one of those things where, like, people think it's easy because it looks rougher, so therefore they don't put as much of a value on it. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about it? Like, this transition with the rougher strokes versus, like, the really refined, clean stuff. Like, I'm curious to hear your opinion on it, if you have one. I know some people probably don't, and it's like, I don't really know, I'm just listening, and that's totally fine. But I'm curious if you do have any input on it. Just because I like hearing input, especially from non-artists. I actually really love hearing input from non-artists because it gives me a completely different perspective of these things that I otherwise wouldn't have. You don't need to level Tragodia. I haven't been. I feel like the role-playing part of D&D is the hard part. Rules are optional and can be bent when necessary. The thing that I don't understand with, like, I don't think the RP part is the hard part. I think the hard part is, like, knowing what all the things do and what works in terms of, like, being a legal move or whatever. I don't know. I've only ever done one singular one-shot, but I do have fascination with the idea overall. I think it's not so much the RP part, but maybe keeping things going. I think that would be what would be the hardest thing. Like, the technical part and the keeping things going part. Especially if, like, people go off course and you have to sort of course correct and then still make that work in game format. It is something that I would like to look into more. I have, like, no experience with it. But I do think it might be an interesting way to, someday, I think it might be an interesting way to sort of explore Lucinari that way. Don't know how viable that is, but it does seem like a good, avenue, perhaps. That would work. A lot of times I think the rough style looks looser and more expressive than the fully rendered piece. See, that's kind of what I think is like, it is more expressive, but I'm worried that there are a lot of people who just sort of, see it as being easier and therefore, like, not worth as much. I don't know. It's kind of a fear I get. Hang on a sec. Legal moves in D&D does not exist. Everything's on the table as long as it doesn't cross into no-go for the player. What does that mean, no-go for the player? They're a tabletop RPG that skew way more theater kid and less wargame nerd. A great way to describe it. It's a complicated thing, but you get a good flow when you learn the vibe of the group. Failing a check means you get bombed by the god of bombs. I don't know, you know, I really want to introduce more people to Lucinari. And the reason I was looking at this storyline with the basically Tragodia storyline, is because I was seeing, like, how it overlaps with DMing and stuff. It seems to sort of be overlap for what I'm looking for, even though I have no experience with, Dungeons & Dragons. But I was like, you know what? Maybe someday in the future, it could be a good way to, explore Lucinari better. Not that I would have any idea how any of that actually works. It just seems like there's a good avenue / opportunity. I don't know. And again, this is just sort of like swirling in my head last night. I have no idea how much any of it makes sense. I just know that I want to be able to show more of the world, and I'm not someone who's going to be able to make a comic or a video game or a anime series, so I feel like a campaign is kind of like the one thing that you can do. I don't know what else would even be logical. You know, without a whole team anyway. Just seems like that's like the most approachable way to do stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I really don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't know what I'm getting into or discussing. You have something in mind in terms of expanding or exploring Lucinari? I definitely do. I don't know I don't know in what way it looks like, but I have a really big urge to further explore. I just don't know what that looks like. I can't exactly just ask everyone to, like, go and pack snacks and go on a random journey. So I have to plan something out. I just don't know what it looks like yet. But I do want to at some point. I don't want to lose that side. This channel is, at the moment, pretty heavily mainly dedicated to Arknights. But I still do not want to lose the side of me that is, like, with the Stargazers, and with the Lucinari, and with my own experiences and stuff. I am a fox of two worlds at the moment. Quite literally. Let's see here. Team up with the dev of Cheese Moon and make an Hallucinari game with them. That would be disturbingly accurate, as is. I feel like Cheese Moon is already essentially that. Alright. What else do I need to be doing? I think I get to the point where, like, I don't know where to go in a piece, and then I just sort of don't know how to, like, handle where the rest of it goes. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay, I have a few details here on the belt. Or, I'm not sure what this is. Some sort of little extra detail. Are these mollusk shells or something? Kind of look like mollusk shells. That'd be kind of clever. Alright, this needs to be darker. Because I can never go darker. Never can go dark enough here. I think... What else? Let me focus on the umbrella, I think, would make the most sense. There are people who like really polished sheen with lots of detail, either out of personal preference or just not having a good idea of the process that goes into artistic creation. I think that's a good point. I think that, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that, like, impressionist painters feel this way all the time, right? But, or maybe they don't. I don't know, actually. I just have a feeling that, like, people assume that if the work is rougher, then it was easier to do. Sometimes I think it's the opposite. Sometimes I think that the rougher work is actually more of a challenge, because you can't. If the work is really precise, then you're kind of going like not formulaic, but like it's a little bit safer. It's more like treat it a little bit more like coloring book style, and that's not to demean it. I literally mean like coloring book style, like the way that you go about the process. Man, that sounds demeaning, but it's not meant to be. Like, there are people who can do, like, anime flat cel-shaded style. It looks really, really clean, and the line art probably takes a very long time. But once you've got the line art, then it's kind of just flooding it in, right? And I say that as someone who's also done that style. But then when it's, like, painterly and expressive and rough and energetic, there's a lot less control, and you don't really know when the piece is done, but you just have to make sure that it's, like, saying everything it needs to say. I don't know if that makes any sense. Packing snacks and going on a journey is what Kyobe said. You know, it's funny you say that, because I feel like Cheese Moon is just our version of, like, Kyobe's Shroom Trip, you know? Because I think someone said, like, what if Cheese Moon is just Prism's dream? I feel like it's that. I'm not saying it's literally a Shroom Trip, I'm just saying that, like, the idea of it just being this full hallucination of reality is probably accurate. Hmm? Picasso napkin story moment. People pick artists because they like artists. If they worry about the work being too easy or too difficult, they should learn it themselves. I suppose that's a good point. Alright, I think I need to move on to, I need to do two things. One, I think Mizuki's hair is a little too voluminous over here. I need to sort of squish that back without squishing his face. How do I do that? just slightly too voluminous, which is a little bit less accurate than it should be. And I'll fix that in post. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit more, normal. It was getting a little too intense. I was gonna point out impressionism? Yeah, in certain kinds of sloppy takes an incredible amount of skill. Yeah, because it's like... I forget which piece it was. There's one piece where, like... Oh, shoot. I don't want to mess that up. There's some pieces where it's like, you think that it was really, really simple, but it took the artist, like, a whole lifetime to... Oh, like Picasso, right? Like, everyone's saying, oh, anyone can draw like Picasso, and it's like... I think Vessa was just saying that Picasso napkin story moment. Where you're like, is that what you're referring to? Where it's like, it took me my entire life to be able to paint like this. And like, as a kid, he could paint realism. You're gonna have to sleep in a bit. If you ever have any D&D questions, Star, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you, I appreciate that. I might have to hit you up on that at some point in the future. I don't know. I have zero experience with any of it, but I feel like it might be a good way to explore Lucinari. In some way. I don't know. Maybe that's a very, very far-off idea. I was just listening to people doing video stuff, and a lot of people who aren't writing, I'm gonna make a new layer on this just in case. A lot of people who weren't doing things with writing were generally doing things for D&D. So that's sort of how I ended up there. We're gonna go over the whole thing in a really gross gray, and then we're gonna make it all pretty again. Yeah, I think... Alright. We're just gonna toss in a lot of color, see what happens. We are gonna be really, really experimental on this piece. On this umbrella. We're just gonna go with the flow. Play around. Kind of like what we did on the jacket. Just sort of go around with these colors and see what happens. Move it around and erase it if I have to. So that it's on a separate layer. So I don't, like, mess up the edges I've already spent all this time doing. I just want to add, like, a lot of different colors and expressions and stuff. I think in the future, if I do this kind of style, I will probably use a more textured brush, just because, like, I wanted to use this brush because that is... I think this is the kind of brush that everyone is using with this style. But in the future, I really do prefer using textured brushes, even if I'm doing it that rough. Like, where is it? This is a really rough textured brush. I normally would do stuff like that. But you have to be careful that it doesn't feel too chalky. And I think for Mizuki, hard round brush does make more sense, so that it is more smooth. Admire looser styles, it doesn't feel like the artist was overthinking it, for lack of a better description. I think that makes a lot of sense. Vessa knows that I overthink my art heavily. I mean, even in this piece, I think I've definitely had some moments where I've been overthinking. So by forcing myself to work this way, I'm, like, trying to not overthink. I'm trying to train myself to not overthink. It's not always easy. I think you make a really good point, though. That it has this, like, very rough, loose, intense piece. I think that's why so many people like this Typhon piece, right? Because there's just so much energy in it, especially for something more, like, battle-ready. It just has a very intense feeling to it, which I think a lot of people like. Alright, let's see. I might try doing this type of exercise again with a different character. Because I think you can't just do it once and expect to understand it, right? I might try doing this with a different character in the future, though. Do you think people like Peanuts so much because of its incredibly detailed art style that is difficult to copy? Or because of the characters and storytelling with Charlie Brown? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think another thing is that for me, like, so much of it also comes down to, commission stuff. Because that's a huge part of what I do, right? So I think I also sort of have that fear of, like, if I have a commission client and the work is too rough, are they gonna be okay with it? Or are they gonna want something that's, like, really clean and crisp? And then I say that to myself, and then I find, like, other artists who don't overthink as much as I do, and then they're able to do fine. Even doing the really, really, really rough stuff. I know that a lot of it is probably very in my head. It's just, it's hard. Hard to not overthink that kind of thing. You paint lore. There you go. You're weaving tales. Which, frankly, I think we need more of. Why is the gray gross? Because it wasn't filled with as much crazy color, is all I was saying. Some of it is because I spent years doodling, sketching with pencil, so paint is like unfathomable black magic to me. The nice thing is that we don't have to work with like real paint right now. We can use magic paint where we don't have to like mix everything by hand. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, on the one hand, I'm like, yes, I love working this way because I don't have to mix these paints, and I hate oil paint, and acrylic is a pain, and yada yada. And then you get people being like, well then, how are you any different from AI if it's doing it all for you, if you're not even mixing your own paint? And I'm like, because it's still my hand? It's like, no, it's not any different. You're using a computer. It's like, if I just stop right now, the art does not continue. Why is that so hard to understand? It's like, I just don't want to mix paints for the rest of my life, jeez. But I hate traditional oil. I'm okay with acrylic. I haven't done it in years. So it's like, yeah, I understand not liking traditional paintwork. Very valid, to be honest. I used to do a lot with marker. I haven't done anything with marker in a long time. I used to do a ton with marker, because I used to do, furry convention stuff. Furry badges. And those are always expected to be traditional. At the time, anyway. Nowadays, I think everyone's fine with them being in digital, and then you also don't end up ruining the original when you lose it on the con floor. It's like attempting to make imperfection, only doing so in such a way it adds to the art instead of reducing its quality. That's a good way of thinking about it. Also, Judeo, hello, hello. People tend to notice Nami's character design, but I also want to praise her background art, because that background is so good. Oh, 100%, yeah. If they pay you for the rough style, they want the rough style. If they pay you for detailed style, they want detailed. I guess. I think the thing is, like, there's a part of me that really wants to keep going with the... There's a part of me that wishes that I was open enough to just, like... Ugh. I think there's a side of me that just wishes I could do everything in this, like, rough painterly style, but the problem is, I also know that most of my examples are in the clean style that takes me forever. And the reason it takes me forever is because, well, I overthink. I overthink with details that no one can see, so this rough style is actually probably a lot better for me, but I don't have enough examples that aren't just studies, so I haven't, like, opened it as a thing. Can't tell. Wait. Is there, like, is this an overlapping layer, or am I seeing the... Alright, hang on. What part of this umbrella am I seeing? Can't quite tell. That kind of overthinking is why I can't do commissions. Yeah, it's... yeah. Yeah. You're gonna overthink no matter what. It's just you want to overthink on your own time or on a client's. I like mixing acrylic for miniature painting. That's fun. Do you mean like when you're not, I don't like doing it with an airbrush, but traditionally, yeah. I love using acrylics for like just direct painting. I don't like using the airbrush so much, but I do love direct painting. I miss doing that. I used to do a lot more, miniature work. Well, okay, can you call it miniature work if it's your if it's like your own sculpture? I used to do a lot of sculpture. I haven't done a lot of sculpture in a long time, but I used to do a lot of sculpture, and I used to paint all my own sculptures. Haven't done that in a very, very long time, though. I'd like to bring that back someday. I think this is supposed to be more of a purple. More vibrant, more saturated. I apologize in the art streams if sometimes I sound like a broken record. Like, yes, we know, you've been talking about that. You've been saying you wanted to do that. Why aren't you doing it? I'm always amazed at talented artists, because I may have OCD, I could never be able to draw. So if I draw something and it's off, or if I'm drawing and it's 1 nanometer off, I'd restart a million times. I also have OCD, and that is the reason that this is hard for me to, like, train myself to do. To, like, not obsess over detail, to be okay with mistakes, to allow it to be rough and artistic and expression. Like, this is a challenge for me. You know what else is like, I'm going to tell myself that I'm not gonna do this after stream ends, but, like, it's a big challenge. There's so many times where I will, continue working on something after stream, after I've said that it was done. Like, I understand what you mean. You really have to be okay with, like... You have to train yourself to be okay with it. Maybe that's what some of my teachers were trying to get me to understand. I don't know. I had some teachers that were really, really into abstract stuff, and normally I can't stand abstract stuff, and, they were trying to explain that, like, you didn't always have to make things that resembled existing things, and I'm like, yes I do, it always has to look like it makes sense. So I think one of the reasons that I'm okay with doing this kind of style is because, like, I've had some things where it was like, you have to try to not make stuff look like other stuff. And for someone who focused on illustration, that's kind of ludicrous. You always want to make your things look like other things that exist. I'm not talking about, like, fantasy animals, I'm talking about, like, pure abstract. I can't do pure abstract. It always drove me crazy. I did not do well. Did not do well for that class. Maybe you can try and do more exercise in rough drawing and speed drawing? Yeah, maybe. I try. I've been trying. I do some pieces where it's like, oh guys, you know, real quick master study, just trying to get the general idea down, and then I end up going one-to-one. And I'm not trying to go one-to-one, it just turns into one-to-one, and then we end up with, like, you know, 3 streams for doing the master study of Neon or whatever the heck it was. It's just like, it's hard to train yourself to do things this way. But I appreciate you guys joining along for the ride. That does mean a lot. PTSD flashback of grayscale. Never dark enough. Never dark enough. That was insane. And I'm still learning that here, right? Like, I was working on this piece earlier, I'm like, still not dark enough, and just still didn't push it enough. That lesson doesn't go away. Alright, this one I think I'm gonna do like a fade here so that it's like a softer. Yeah, that's better. That works. I'll do something like that. I don't want to ruin the color too much, but just... like that. Alright, you have to make sure that this doesn't disappear entirely. Let's paint over that. You should try that emote wheel adoptable type stream again, but you draw them in the rough style you're trying to imitate. That way it's 100% your own thing and randomized. No need to try to copy anything perfectly or be a perfectionist. Yeah, maybe. Maybe for, like, the side channel or something. Ah! It's the wrong one. Might be a good side channel thing. I think after Cheese Moon, we have to go back to doing art-related stuff again. At least for a little bit. Rip box hand? Guys, I didn't get rid of it entirely! Look, Mizuki has box hand! That should keep you happy, right? If the sculptures are small, why wouldn't it be called miniature? I don't, because when people say miniature, they specifically think of pre-made tabletop stuff. Yeah, it is a miniature sculpture, but it's not like, it's not a miniature, you know? If that makes... You're gonna do it when you're gonna do it. We are here along for the ride. Thank you, Stockler. I appreciate it. How else are you gonna be #1 on our YouTube recap if we ain't here? It wasn't dark enough even at the end, wasn't it? Probably not, even though I went for pure black at the end. But honestly, that one master study has helped my values a lot. It's still not 100% because the Mizuki piece still does not have enough darkness, I can tell, just looking at it. But it is way further along than I have been able to do in the past. Like, naturally. Like, the fact that I was able to just throw in black here, like, that, I did not used to be able to do that. We don't have any other games lined up for after Cheese Moon, and that's quite some big shoes to fill in entertainment value. Yeah, I might have to let that, like, simmer a little bit, because I don't know if we're gonna find anything that's gonna give us the same vibe as Cheese Moon. Might have to sort of let it peter off a little bit, huh? Like, I'm just adding, like, little highlights and things where I think it makes the most sense, because adding the highlights helps make the rough brush strokes really, really pop. If you need more darkness, just become a simple enemy of Kingdom Hearts. There you go. That was said exactly like someone jingling keys to get their toddler's attention. What? No, I'm just saying that it's like, you have it. It's fine. If it's a tiny statue that needs to be colored, that'd be a miniature in my book. Might not be the regular kind, but still a miniature, so mini Akari win. I have not designed a miniature myself, but I used to take miniature commissions. Those were fun. You know what else is the problem with the miniatures is... Guys, do you think I ever sculpted a single human? We're going back to the same issue. I never sculpted a person either. Actually, I sculpted one. It was terrible. I don't think I even have a photo of it anymore. And that was the other thing, is like, I really admire anime figurines. I love, especially, oh my gosh, my favorite types of anime figurines. They're the ones that are very out of budget for most people. So I don't own any. I just think they're really pretty, and I can learn a lot just from the images. My favorite anime figurines are the ones where they have, like, a part of the world in the miniature. Like, they're on a... It shows, the environment around them. Which I think we've seen a lot in a lot of the, skins. In a lot of the Arknights skins, right? We see a lot of that, like... They're sort of standing on that little patch of the world around them. But then when people sculpt that... Oh, I love that so much. I didn't get to do many of those, but whenever I could, like, add a little bit of the world environment to a piece, those were so fun. Those make me so happy. It adds so much more storytelling, you know? I feel like the hat is not even, and I don't know if I can even it, or if I sort of went a little out of bounds here. Maybe I can fix it. Oh, okay. That's not bad. No human sculpture, but I do think there were frogs. Yes, I have been commissioned to sculpt some frogs. I've been commissioned to sculpt a cat. I've been commissioned to sculpt... I don't know if somebody... Oh man, I don't even remember. Oh, I had one project where I was sculpting a bunch of endangered species. That was fun. I sculpted a Santa. I sculpted a mummy. Okay, the Santa and the mummy were human. I did sculpt a little Santa. That was actually like a little gift miniature type thing. But I never did like a full... I only did one full body anime character, but it was like multiple decades ago. And And I haven't attempted a full-body anime character since. You literally had the exact jingling keys mannerisms when pointing out to his box hands. It's uncanny. You're an inspiration? I'm amazed by your work. As someone that loves creating things / something, that's why I want to at some point in my life be an artist as a hobby, an aero engineer for a job. Well, that's really smart, first of all. That's really, really smart, yes. Aero engineer for a job, and then art as a hobby. That is a good way to go. That's really sweet of you, though. Thank you. If you ever want, to, like, show your work in the Discord or learn different art techniques or anything like that, like, I don't do as much coaching type stuff as I did in the past. But I'm always happy to give, like, some tips or pointers here and there if that goes for anyone. Not just for Darkstar, but if there's anyone who is interested in, like, getting work feedback or something, I'm always happy to give it where I can. See, I don't want to be a teacher, but I do like to impart art wisdom. What if your job is your hobby? Then you're really lucky. Then you're really lucky. I am trying to do so. Doing these kind of exercises and stuff really help when I need to get, like, an in-between between, like, the work and the learning work. Ooh, I'll probably do, like, a little bit of, overlay on here to make it look nicer. I'm not getting as detailed with these little raindrop pieces as Nami did, because that is more of, like, a full overpaint detail thing. I'm so happy to make this joke. Okay, sensei. I need to find someone I can consistently ask for feedback on, specifically mecha design. I'm sorry, can't help there. Can't help on the mecha thing, but I think we both already knew that. I know Lady Red does mecha, but I also know she's really, really busy, so I don't think that consistent would work there either, unfortunately. She's very talented, though. Very good work. For the low cost of 4 or Ginny Minguts, I'll teach you the forbidden art techniques of drawing. Just DM Gundam. Easy peasy. Is my art considered traced art, or is it called something else? What do you mean? Like what I'm doing right now? I wouldn't call it... I traced the first line. This is what I traced. I traced that. So out of the whole painting, I traced the part where I was just trying to get, like, the proportions. Because figuring out the proportions live on stream just takes a lot of work, and because this is not for a commission or for a client, it's just a study, I didn't have to be, like, super, super intense on trying to make up my own accuracy for it. So I just quickly traced the rough idea, and then I painted in the color, eventually was able to get rid of the lines, and then just sort of kept adding the detail here. And I'm still not adding, like I said, I'm not adding a super amount of detail, I just want it to feel like there's rain on the umbrella. That's all. It's actually would probably go the other direction, too. I'm just trying to get, like, a few strokes that just give us the impression Just want the feeling that there is water on here, you know? Even if it's not very perfect or very accurate, it just, like, from a distance, it just gives us the feeling of wetness, I guess, is the best way to say it. I've seen people kill their passion by turning their hobbies into jobs and it burned them out. Yeah. I think you definitely have to be careful. Like, I know, Sierra was showing me a tweet the other day where people were talking about how, like, they can't rely on artists to deliver. There's so many artists that just sort of take the money and run. And it's because a lot of artists are not equipped to run a business. So they try to make art into their main business, and then they just kind of burn out because they really just wanted to be able to make what they wanted to make. And I understand that in a way. Like, who doesn't want to be able to just, you know, make their ideal stuff? That's why I'm talking about Illusionari so much. But, there's also a sense of responsibility that you have to uphold, and some people just aren't really able to do that. And they burn their passion not being able to do the work they want, and then they stop taking commissions entirely. I'm at a point where I know I'm behind, but if I'm currently working with you, and I'm in, like, the middle of working with you, and you want to make sure I'm still working, then, you know, feel free to message me if you're nervous about that. There's one that I have that needs a little bit more progress that has sort of been on the... Not on the... There's two that I'm currently in the middle of, like, currently have open sketch canvases for. One I discussed with somebody before going away, and the other I have discussed with them previously when I was in the middle of working on the Eve piece. Both of those are still being worked on. Both of those are still in production. So if either of those pieces sound like yours, then please understand. I am still working on them. I have not forgotten about you in the slightest. I also had to squeeze in a Christmas card, unfortunately. I'm required to do a Christmas card design every year. And, I had to sort of do a little bit of a, what do you call it? A detour. I had to do a little bit of a detour. I always get nervous when I see those kind of tweets, because I'm always like, oh geez, I hope that people don't think that I'm doing that too. Hmm? The great artists of the past are all dirt poor. It's an appreciated but seldom monetary fulfilling work. I mean, there were some who were, like, if you were doing work for a king, then I think, I still think it was a little bit more respected. I don't know. That's a rough one. I'm not really sure, actually. Okay, you know where I feel like it was more respected? I think it was more respected in terms of the time, because, like, due to the nature of the material, due to the nature of oils, and this is not an art thing, this is just a society thing, I feel like you could tell a king, it will take me, like, 3 years to paint this portrait of you and your family, and they would be like, okay, that's understandable, and you were able to, like, not go to the dungeon and have the time you needed because of people understanding that it just took longer with those materials back then. I'm sure there are still artists who were put on very rough deadlines, though. I would not doubt that at all. Better deliver a masterpiece then. I would hope after 3 years. Wait, what do you mean 20 days? Wait, is there something I need to pay attention to with the 20 days thing? Let's go back to medieval time, draw amazing art for the king to become crazy rich. The Christmas post. Ah, yeah. Well, it's one of those things that, thankfully, the Christmas cards that I do not have to be extremely detailed. I'm able to do that in, like, cute animal children's book style. The problem is, you have to do it really early because you have to order them, then have it sent, then be able to use them, then have them sent again. So the issue isn't so much like getting the work done, it's a matter of getting the work done and ordered and usable for Christmas. So that usually means that I actually have to prioritize and rush them out. Thankfully, I just finished it yesterday. Even less days, yeah. Ideally, if you're doing, like, original art for a Christmas card, and you are having that produced by, like, an outside print service, you would generally want to get that, like, ordered by November, like, in November. If you wanted to get that in on time. So the order for them is going out today, which is not the tightest deadline I've ever given it, but not something you want to do on a regular basis. Especially because you think about, right, like how overloaded the postal service is going to be in general. So you don't really want to be waiting on your card orders. Especially if you still got to use the cards. All right. Let's see here. Oh, is there like a little... All right, I can add that real quick. Alright, make that as dark as I need to, so it actually shows up. Once upon a time, Deep Color said, have sympathy for an artist pushed to the brink by deadline with no inspiration. I need to frame that. It's so good. I need to frame that at some point. I need to learn to use Deep Color just to, like, artist to artist understanding. Or Dusk. I'm reminded of all the silliness Michelangelo pulled off with the Sistine Chapel. Yeah, back then you were either supported by nobles or by family. Yeah, not a job commonly practiced by those without influence. It's kind of crazy to me how the perception is of like art in general is so strange, because like you would think that creation as like, you know, bringing things to life, putting ideas onto page would just be something that in history is like more, I don't know, I don't want to say respected, but like understood? I don't know what word I'm trying to say. Like, it is a form of creation, of bringing something to the world that did not previously exist, and I just feel like in human history that would be more of a thing that was, like, understood by people. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Medieval Brain Society has no native defense the moment they see 2025 drawings. Well, as long as they're still made by people, right? Sometimes I really love, like, how quick you're able to just, like, add in things when you're doing this style. Like, oh, you forgot to add in this creature, and instead of worrying about the line art, I can just go, like, bloop, bloop, throw it in. Throw it in and be all set. I think I would become a trillionaire if I showed the medieval king the Alfredo chicken pasta. Oh my gosh. Actually sounds so good right now, what the heck? You're making me crave it. Maybe that's the hack, learn to cook. Making either dusk or deep color your muse might take you to some really weird places. Oh well. Problem with most forms of art is there needs to be a want or a need for it. Usually it was more practical for longest time, family portraits, engineering, and maps. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There we go. Little guy. Little fun guy. Alright, we'll make this a little bit darker. It needs to be. And see if this needs to be any darker too. Just trying to not go too crazy different. I'm still hesitating a little bit on this color level. But Trying to push it just a little bit more. Hand folds are always very tricky. And then this needs to be pretty much pure black. Alright. Is there anything else that I'm, like, missing? Is there anything that's, like, really standing out that I don't have on here? I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I could get to the point where, like, I'm not just taking a reference of an existing image, if I could just do this with my own stuff, and I could do, like, a 3-hour piece, I think that there could be something there that I need to experiment more with and try out, I think. What are you guys talking about? First needs to survive IS-2. Was she allowed to do trials? I was able to do the first stage of the first trial of the first whatever and no further. And I couldn't do it. On the other hand, there were all kinds of people out there doing embroidery, weaving, wood carving, etc. There have always been low-budget, no-budget forms of art and people who practice them. That's true. Yeah, because, like, whatchamacallit, because home ec used to be more of a thing that people respected. Just discussing IS3. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah. I don't think that this is... Yeah, you know, if I could push this style level, if I could do this... The eyes I didn't find too difficult. The eyes are fairly straightforward. I think the thing is you just have to, like, you just have to brand what it is, right? Because, like, if I branded this as a clean piece and then people zoomed in, then it would be like, okay, you know, that's a little off. But if I just, like, branded this as, like, I think that's the thing, like, I don't want to brand it as a rush piece either. Charming Falcon, hello, hello! Welcome in, welcome in! Charming Falcon, we were talking about you earlier. Thank you so much for the super chat, I appreciate it, thank you. Hello, goodbye? Oh, no, okay, oh, alright, okay. Charming Falcon drive-by. We were saying good things about you earlier. We were saying that you were cool. I hope you're doing well, Charming Falcon. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it a lot. Alright. He's named Falcon because he flies fast and is gone. Oh, he truly does just do like a drive-by. Hello and goodbye. It's okay. We love Falcon here. You can stay for a sec. Hello! We were saying that you are very cool, and I was saying that, like, I don't know anyone who stayed from Irium, who first knew me from Irium, except for Charming Falcon. So we were saying that you were very cool, and we we're very grateful for you. Are lines raindrops? Yeah, kind of. It's just like a rough idea of raindrops. Don't tell him that his ego's big enough already. Oh my gosh. Nah, he needs a little reminder here and again, right? Just a little bit. I didn't get to do a Mizuki piece yet. I'm happy to do a Mizuki piece, because I really like Mizuki. I sparked Mizuki. I enjoy Mizuki a lot. I don't get enough chances to use Mizuki, but I will try to learn. Good old ERM days. I miss the bombs. I really miss the bomb star. Oh no, you wrote it in all caps. Oh. Aslan died so Mizuki could live. I'm sorry! Look, one was gamba and the other was a guarantee. I mean, I needed the guarantee. That cranky, no, you don't need to include the roach in the palm emojis. 99% of gamblers quit before they hit it. Oh my gosh. And then I proceeded to do terribly on like all the not terribly, but not great. Because the banners after that were Fia and Posey. But then we did well on I don't remember when Xuxie's banner was, but we did really well there, so you know, we just gotta take the wins where we can. It's all good. It's all good. Mystic, hello, hello. Successfully failed the mission. 3 times in a row. Oh dear. What kind of luck are you predicting for the January banner? I don't think I'm going to go crazy on the January banner. So I'm like, wait, are you testing me? I feel like you're testing me right now. Yes. It do be limited. See, the problem is like the problem is like, what if you want one of the not one of the current limited, but one of the Spark limited? Like, that's a problem. I mean, like, I'll try a bit, but I know that there's other things that are also competing timeline-wise with it, so I don't want to go too crazy on it. Because there's other things that are also in the way. I heard a lot of people saying that the banners for, like, this year in particular are extremely stacked. I told you it was a test and you still half failed. Will you give us another poll blessing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, a little, an illustration, you mean? Yeah, absolutely. Void, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Raid out of nowhere. Hello, hello, Void, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you are doing well, welcome in. I hope you had a good stream. I was actually just sort of, like, wrapping up here, but I hope everything's going well with you. The banners have been stacked for months already. It's kinda crazy. No, guys, you don't have to freak out every time there's raiders. Guys, it's Void. You know Void. It's Void. You guys all know Void. Blank on Discord. You know who this is. This is a friend. This is a stargazer. This is a stargazer. You know who they are. This is Blank, guys. Guys, it's Blank. Yes, it's the mold spore bunny, exactly. Boy, never heard of him. It's Blank, guys. It's the mold spore bunny. It's the one who was in the explosion painting. Yeah, we know him. Doesn't mean we're not afraid. Okay, well, with Blank, that's fair. Frankly, that is fair. It's not a spy, guys. It's Blank. Literally posting in the Discord, like, yesterday. Or today. I don't even remember. Yesterday. Or, but you don't need to, Blank got possessed into becoming a Twitch raider. Blank has been on Twitch before, guys! Do you always have to wrangle your watchers? Yes, unfortunately. Yes, I do. I have a crazy amount of bunnies on the YouTube side, and they do not like the Twitch side, even though I keep telling them the Twitch side is absolutely fine. And the Twitch side is friendly, and there's nothing wrong with the Twitch side. But they don't believe me. Yes, I do every single time, unfortunately. Guys! You are crazy. You are so crazy. I got possessed into becoming a Twitch raider. Oh my gosh. There was a Kitsune Twitch raider that stole our cheese, though. Well, tried to steal our cheese. I prefer mad. If YouTube gets its stuff together, I'll gladly move there. If YouTube could just, like, implement all the stuff Twitch has, that would be fantastic. And the sad thing is, I think they were going to, and then YouTube Shorts ended up being their competition instead of streams. And because they were trying to compete with TikTok, and they were trying to compete with Twitch. And they were going to add all of these things that would have competed with Twitch. And then they realized that their money was better spent competing with TikTok. And I'm just irritated because we could have had, like, better YouTube stream. Pretty sure that was 3 minutes of ads the second I switched over. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Void. It shouldn't be sending you ads if you're coming over from a raid. It's not supposed to do that. You both open Twitch and YouTube? Dang, Dark, thank you. Surely YouTube can just get, like, an intern to work on YouTube streaming. That would be great, frankly. Twitch kept shooting themselves in the foot. Their knees are in danger. It's like both platforms are not doing the best, but at least people are, like... I don't know. In my experience, the YouTube discoverability has been better. Even just on streams, which is strange, but true, weirdly enough. I'm not even just talking about the Arknights thing, I'm talking about in general. I realize Mizuki has an earring. Hang on. It was in the shadow. I couldn't clearly see it. Ads on raids have been happening a lot lately. Fillion called Twitch out for it, in fact. Yeah, they're not supposed to do that. Especially with the way that you set it up, they're not supposed to do it that way. I have both because I can swatch over when there's an ad in one. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm fine with you guys being in whichever one you'd like. Alright, Weston Fox, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night. I wish you the best. Thank you, thank you. Quoter, I put midstream ads so raiders don't have to watch an ad when they join the stream, but apparently Twitch doesn't care. Yeah, that sounds about right. Speaking of Arknights, I'm struggling to catch up on main content with the sheer amount of events. I'm a new player. I am also 2025 new. I I have people who are giving me like a guide of what to be doing. I am trying to avoid spoiler things, so like for this current event, I'm told like only go to stage 5, for instance. Or like don't read the storyline, just do the stages and then read the story later. Stuff like that. Soon Enfield will eat your entire time. I'm avoiding Enfield entirely. Johnny Virgil, hello, hello. Why are you putting in the cockroach emoji? What was the old native saying? The man who chases after 2 rabbits loses one and won't catch the other one. Feels appropriate to YouTube's behavior. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. For me, discoverability has been better on Twitch, but that's because I play a hyper-obscure indie game with extremely dedicated fans, and Twitch made category visibility better. That is very fair. I can love yapping about the game I like. There you go. Alright. I think we are gonna wrap it up here. I think that this was actually a really productive stream. This was 3 hours of work, and if I just like, you know, cropped this, then I feel like if this wasn't just already Nami's piece, this is like, this is something that I could be happy with, like, saying is passed off as like a finished piece. I understand that in this case, we are doing a study from Nami's work, so all the credit goes to Nami. And a lot of credit, again, to, Kamandani and, Xing Zhang. But it's really nice just to be able to play around with this stuff. I think we still went a little too refined in the sense of, like, making everything kind of not as super loose and energetic as these other pieces. But I think that this was a really good example of trying to get looser and trying to play around, at least, like, in the rough brushstrokes. I did not used to be able to leave this alone. I probably would have tried to smooth this out and over-render it and make it all muddy. So I think that this is actually a really, really good exercise. What? Wait, what? Saturday will be karma? Oh no. Star's not obsessing over something small, like the umbrella. You're getting better. The raindrops look really good, and it's funny, because, like, if you zoom in, the raindrops are, like, absolutely nothing. It's just... Yeah, it's hard to get to that point of not obsessing, but I think we're getting better, so... I appreciate. Alright. Our next stream is going to be Saturday. I am terrified. For those who don't know, we are going to be finishing up Vigilo Saturday. That will be interesting. That will be very interesting indeed. Alright, well, if you have not joined the Discord yet, definitely consider joining the Discord, especially if you are a fan of Arknights. If you are a new player, you're probably fine. If you are an older player, please keep in mind that we have a thread for anything past Act 1, so anything discussion-based past Act 1. Please keep to the threads. There's one for past where I am at, and that's called Global, and then there's one for CN stuff, because I know there's other people who also want to avoid CN. If you are not there for Arknights and you just want to be there for art or getting help with art or advice with art, that is fine. You have the option to post your own work, get feedback, all that kind of fun stuff. We'd be happy to have you there. And yeah, I will see you guys Saturday. All right. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you may be in the world or the worlds beyond. And well, all the best. Thank you so much again. All right.